Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is 29th of March, 2022, and it's around 9:28 in the morning. I was thinking of going live, but I still need to prepare a little bit to make sure that it goes without a glitch. So I'm going to be recording again today, and everything looks great right now. The futures are looking good. And as always in this video, we're going to have three parts. One is the news and economic updates, which might impact the market. And the second one is going to be technical analysis of NASDAQ and VIX, generally to provide a long-term view of where the market is going. And then specifically, we'll look at technical analysis of the genomics shares that we have in our watch list. So let's get started. Let's start off with the news articles. The first one that caught my attention was US biopharm plans to make hypoallergenic cats using CRISPR gene editing. And this is probably not the direction we should be going with CRISPR, at least in the beginning, because this is a frivolous use of the technology. It should be focused more on either crop production or on health improvement. Because this is going to divert the talent from productive uses into unproductive uses. So that's my 2 cents on it, and I would like to know what you guys think about it. Of course, this company can make profits because a lot of people who love cats do not want to, have the allergies that they suffer from. So this is definitely a winning idea, but I don't think this is the direction CRISPR has to go before it solves other main problems that humans face. So having said that, I have the second news article, which I'm very interested in. It shows that Spotlight Therapeutics raises $36.5 million Series B to advance a pipeline of cell-targeted in vivo CRISPR gene editing biologics. So to be honest, I've never heard about this company before. And the fact that they are getting 36.5 million at this point of time when inflation is high and the interest rates are going up, so that shows a lot of confidence that private investors have on the CRISPR technology. And what this company is going to do is it's applying new insights to develop cell-targeted in vivo CRISPR gene editing biologics. And they say that their proprietary technology platform, TAGE, that is Targeted Active Gene Editors, is a new class of biologics, highly engineered, modular, programmable CRISPR effectors designed to target and edit selected cells in vivo. This approach circumvents the complexity of packaged viral-like, and nanoparticle delivery system, opens the door to expanded applications, and holds the promise of increasing patient access. So I still need to do a bit of study on this, and if any of our viewers know what this is, I'd like to hear from you in the comment section below. You could even forward me some links which I can use to understand that. I'm also going to do my research. But so far, my understanding has been that delivery has been a big problem. Then GVHD, graft versus host disease, is the next problem. And off-base edit is the other problem. So this particular approach, TAG, seems to circumvent all of those based on what I'm reading here, which means that this company is going to be catapulted to the forefront of most of the therapies. So I would like to hear from you guys what you think and whether TAG is the way to go in the future, and whether it's going to impact the valuation of companies like CRISPR Therapeutics and Beam and Editas. With that, I think it's time to look at the NASDAQ and VIX. It's already 9:45 a.m. So let's do that now. As always, we are going to start off with US oil, and US oil is down 2.54%. That translates to $2.66 down. And that brings US oil almost close to going under $100. So having said that, if we look at the chart of oil, we can continue to see that the MACD is going bearish and it's moving downwards. And also our support for the price out here is coming from the 50-day exponential moving average, whereas the 9 and 20-day have become resistances. So this is a very good development. Also, other things behind US oil is that there's kind of a political push and pull going on. The efforts from US to expedite the Iran nuclear deal was countered by the Saudis because they do not like each other, the Saudis and the Iranians. So the OPEC has kind of decided that they would hold a meeting and try to increase the oil production in the interest of the common good. So that's the dynamic going on. And further behind that, if you look at the past US administration, it was very close with Saudi Arabia and it was totally anti-Iran. And that's how the Iran nuclear deal was pulled back and an embargo put on Iran. And of course, then the journalist was killed. US President Trump definitely supported Saudi Arabia and did not push anything so far. So overall, the Saudis and the US and the Russia were kind of in a same camp. But with the change in the administration, there has been a demand for more accountability, and it has kind of frayed the relationship between US and Saudi Arabia and OPEC in general. And the move by the US to try and ease restriction on Iran kind of triggered a positive move from OPEC. They extended the olive branch and said, okay, we are going to do the common good and we are going to try to increase the oil production. So overall, that is behind the fall in the oil prices at this point of time. And also from a technical perspective, when you go to all-time high so steeply, you're bound to come down. But still, we are still in a bullish channel. If you look at this channel out here, so don't forget that we are still in a bullish channel, and we are going to have to drop below this in order to start developing a bearish channel, which will be bounded on the top by a downward line. So even though we seem to have lower highs, we still do not have lower lows. So that's what we need to keep in mind. So the story is not yet over. Having said that, let's look at the wicks. This is the live wicks that we have, the live feed. And in the live wicks, we have gone below 19.93, which was our next resistance. This is really, really good. I'm going to mark this into a resistance. The support has become a resistance. And our MACD is absolutely bearish, but it's trying to tend towards a signal line. Momentum is also very weak. If you look at, if I expand, so I had a little bit of a glitch out there. So now I have my RSI at the bottom and the MACD at the top. We'll get used to this configuration going forward. So if I look at the RSI for the wicks, it's the momentum is very weak and it's going down. So that's a good sign for us in the wicks. And also the MACD is bearish, but it's tending towards a signal line. That's the thing that makes me worry a little bit. But I'm thinking that if the sentiment continues for the day and oil price seems continues to stay low, then we may not have a resurgence in the wicks for today. And even if we did, 19.93 is going to be a resistance for wicks. But we have still not come back to the healthy zone. So we'll have to wait for that for a few days. Having said that, let us look at now the put-call ratio. We haven't looked at this in a long while. So put-call ratio is also 0.69. It's in a zone where it indicates that we are in a bullish kind of environment. And if we were to go into QQQ, which is NASDAQ, we can see that we opened high and we have fallen down. This is a bearish candle, so we'll have to wait and see that this particular candle gets reformed. This is the 30th of March today, and 29th of March today out here, and this is today's candle, and we can see that our 9-day exponential moving average has gone over the 50-day exponential moving average. That's step 2 of becoming bullish, and our MACD is also bullish and moving away from the signal line, and our RSI is pretty good. The momentum is above average, and we have plenty of room for the RSI before it becomes overbought. So for NASDAQ, it seems like open season today and everything is going to be great for NASDAQ, given the current configuration the way they are. However, if we get any bad news from the Russia-Ukraine front, then it can spike the oil. Or if we get a news that the OPEC meeting has decided not to increase oil production, those things can increase the price of oil, and then all these things can get reversed. And also, I would like to point out, when I look at NASDAQ, what I'm not liking is the steep increase in prices. We want to consolidate a little bit so that we have a gentler slope upward, and that is much more sustainable. These kind of steep upward movements are very, very difficult to sustain. So I would look forward to moderate gains today and slightly moderate gains tomorrow before we go up further. That's my personal preference. But right now, it's a good opportunity for people to take some profits if they are in companies that you don't prepare to hold long term for various reasons. In my particular portfolio, I have got good profits in Tesla. I got good profits accumulated in Amazon and in Google. But I'm not taking those profits right now because I'm afraid that if I get off the horse, then I can't get on the horse again. So I'm going to hold on to that. However, in smaller companies that I have in my portfolio, if I get some profits, I'm going to take them. So having said that, I think overall my impression of the market is that right now we are having some kind of upward movement, some positive vibes in the market. Because I think many people felt that capitulation took place somewhere around 317.67 for QQQ. It may or may not be true, but when I look at all the other problems that we have environmental issues which need to be sorted. Recently, we had ice caps melting in the Arctic, I think. So that's another big problem. Then we have the problem with regard to the supply chain, which has to be sorted. China is struggling with its economy and it needs to boost the economy. And it's struggling in a totally opposite way to what is happening in the US. US is also struggling with high inflation and they need to take control of it. And because US has got a reserve currency in the US dollar, they are not facing the problems the way Turkey or Zimbabwe did. Because the overall economy which is holding the US dollars is kind of damping it out. But the world economy is kind of damping it out. But US needs to take care of the inflation problem very, very quickly. And therefore, there are going to be interest rate hikes. But I think that instead of doing interest rate hikes, the US should focus more on easing the supply chain and allowing things to happen that can bring more products to the market. That way you can continue maintaining the employment level and also bringing down the prices, because increasing the interest rates is going to make the US dollar strong, and therefore imports are definitely going to become cheaper, but exports are going to become more expensive, and therefore there will be some sectors of the economy which will lose employment. And that could push us towards stagflation. And that's what I'm worried about. So that's one part of the story. Now, if you look at Cathy Wood's thesis, she's talking about increasing productivity, damping down the inflation. I don't see that happening at this point of time because robotics are not in yet and CRISPR has not yet delivered on its promise. And AI still has not delivered as much as to make productivity so high that it can dampen this inflation. So let's put a pin on that and visit it tomorrow. And now it's time for us to take a look at the genomic stocks. So the star for today's performance among the genomic shares that we have in our watch list is DNA. And well-deserved boost for DNA, which has been beaten up severely. Like if we were to zoom back to where DNA has come from. So I think from its launch of 10.03, it had gone all the way up to 15.87 and then collapsed all the way down to 2.79. That's a big drop. So even though this hike seems to be steep, I believe the investors who invested earlier are still in deep red, and there's a long way to go for them. And the fact that the 9-day exponential moving average is moving towards the 20-day exponential moving average gives me a bit of comfort. But this upward move is very, very steep. Let us see if there is any news. There seems to be a news that came up yesterday, which says Ginkgo Bioworks posts wider Q4 loss, higher revenue, issues full year 2022 revenue guidance. They reported a Q4 loss late Monday of $1.1 per diluted share, wider than the expected per share loss of 0.04. That's a significant miss. 4 analysts polled by Capital IQ called for a per share loss of 0.05. Revenue for the quarter ended December 31 was $148.5 million, up from $32 million a year earlier, and analysts had polled 94.9 million. The biotech company said it ended Q4 with 1.59 billion of cash equivalents and restricted cash, compared with 385.9 million a year earlier. For full year 2020, Ginkgo Bioworks said it expects revenue of 325 million to 340 million. Analysts were looking for 302 million. The company's share jumped more than 9% in recent Monday after hours activity. So, in my opinion, I think that the realization of a greater book value than was anticipated is part of what is driving the price rise out here. And the fact that they missed their earnings earlier and are promising a much higher earnings going forward is something that we need to wait and see to be proved. So overall, I think this increase may probably be sustained by moving sideways because the book value has gone up. But once the market starts thinking about it and analysts start digging deeper, they may come up with their own conclusion. There's a good chance that we might come down again. So probably it's a realization that things are not as bad as the market thought it was, which drove it all the way down to 279. So they have come up a little bit. Maybe this is the new low that we are going to track. We'll see what happens. Verve is up 5.86%, and we still have our bullish channel intact because today we have gone up, and our 20-day exponential moving average is giving us a resistance out here, whereas the 9-day is supporting us, and our momentum is tending towards average, and it's pointed upwards, and MACD has just become bullish. So this looks good for today. I think Verve is going to stay positive today and continue on the bull channel, and we'll see if we can break away from the pennant formation and start a new bull channel. IMTX is up 3.55%, and we are also forming some kind of a bull channel out here. It's too early to call it, but I can see the makings of a potential bull channel out here because earlier we were coming down this way, all the way from here down here. So this was a kind of bear channel, and now we are turned over, and it's looking like the formation of a bull channel for IMTX. So let's see what happens. And when we look at the RSI, it's above average, and we are firmly above the support we have of minus 0.59 and getting further closer towards the median of 0.00, and that's a good sign. The moment we go above 0, we'll be in actual bullish channel fundamentally. So looking forward to that. MACD is still bullish. That's great. So IMTX is picking up steam. Bluebird is up 3.85%. And we still have resistance from the 20-day exponential moving average. If you see the orange line out there, MACD is bullish, momentum is below average, but tending towards above average. That's a good sign. So Bluebird is going to do well today. Intelia is up 3.33%, and we are firmly into our bear channel. And we have support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. Our next resistance is the 50-day exponential moving average, which sits at 82.12. Momentum is above average and pointing upwards. I like that very much. MACD is bullish. That's also a good sign. So good things for Intelia today. ARCG is up 3.89%. And our next resistance is going to be the 50-day exponential moving average, which is currently sitting at 47.76. So I'm thinking that given that momentum is above average and pointing upwards, and MACD is bullish, I think that we are going to break through the 50-day exponential moving average today. That will be the best outcome for ARCG, in any case closing positively. Teladoc is up 3.57%, and our 50-day exponential moving average is a resistance for Teladoc. MACD is bullish and momentum is above average and pushing upwards. So I'm thinking that we are going to break the 50-day exponential moving average today for Teladoc. Editas is up 3.73%, and our support at 18.20 is still standing strong. And we have a support from the 50-day exponential moving average today. We have converted it into a support today by opening up much higher. And our momentum is above average and pointing upwards, and MACD is bullish. So overall, Editas is going to stay positive today. And if you look at Allogene, it's up 3.15%, and our next resistance is 9.93, and we have support from the 20-day and the 9-day exponential moving averages. Momentum is above average and pointing upwards. MACD is bullish and moving towards the signal line, but I'm thinking that's going to change, and we're going to continue to move away from the signal line. So today we are going to test the resistance at 9.93. If we close above 9.93, I will take it as a bonus. Beam is up 2.39%. We have pierced the upper bounds of the bear channel that we had for the longest time, starting from 2nd July 2021. However, we have dropped back again. This is a very bearish candle that has formed here. Our momentum is pushing towards average and trying to move above that. So that's a very good sign. MACD has also turned bullish. So both these things are looking good. So I am thinking that today we are going to test this resistance again, and probably we will end up at the resistance at around 60.96, and we'll have to take the battle forward tomorrow. PSEB is up 3.14%, and our next resistance is the 20-day exponential moving average, which is currently sitting at $10.20. Our momentum is below average, but tending towards above average, so that's a good sign. MACD is bullish, that's also a good sign. So hopefully PSEB will end up positive today. And we have CRISPR Therapeutics up 2.88%. They just pushed to the resistance at 66.36 and was pushed down again. We have support from the 9-day and the 50-day exponential moving average, along with the 20-day exponential moving average. So very, very good bullish sign. Momentum is above average and pushing upward. I like that. MACD is bullish, but it's come closer towards the signal line, but I'm thinking that today it's going to break upwards. Let us look at the 1-day time frame and see what is happening with the momentum. Momentum is at average and pointing upwards, so that's good. MACD is above average and bullish, so that's also very good. So both of those things seem to look good for CRISPR Therapeutics. So I'm thinking that CRISPR Therapeutics is going to continue being bullish today, and we are going to continue going along this bearish support line that we have got today. Our biggest resistance is 66.36, which we need to approach by the end of the day today. That's what I look forward to for CRISPR. Illumina is up 1.92%, and it's a very, very smart move upwards. Momentum is above average, pointing upwards. MACD is also bullish. So I'm looking for positive things for Illumina today. Our next resistance is the 100-day exponential moving average sitting at 360.31. So if we are able to move upwards and towards the 360.31 today, that will be a positive. So anyway, I'm looking at Illumina being above $7 by the day, by the close of the day. Caribou Biosciences is up 1.93% and support of 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average. 20-day exponential moving average sits at 9.50. We are right now at 9.52. So I hope that holds. Because momentum is below average but tending towards above average. That's a very good sign. MACD is also bullish. So overall, I'm thinking that Caribou Biosciences is going to add up a few more cents before the close of the market. Novartis is up 0.54%. That's around 45 cents. We have cleared a hurdle and created a support at 87.04. And our next resistance is 87.44 followed by 87.54. We pierced through both of them in the morning, but were firmly pushed back. We still have support from the 9-day exponential moving average and all the other exponential moving averages. And the 100-day exponential moving average is also crossing over the 20-day, which is a very, very good sign of setting up a bullish future for this stock. And our MACD is bullish and momentum is above average and pointed upwards. Everything looking good for Novartis. Pfizer is up 0.32%, still has the support of 9-day exponential moving average. And our momentum is above average and pointed upwards. I like that. And MACD is also bullish. So I'm thinking Pfizer is going to continue being bullish today. And it will have to move further upwards and end above where it was at the peak of yesterday. That's around 53.54. And that will be a positive outcome for Pfizer in my books. Vertex is down minus 0.74%. When I look at the momentum, it's kind of above average but pointed downwards, and that has happened because the RSI was almost overbought. So that is to be expected. MACD is bullish. So I'm thinking that today we are going to find the support of we're going to test the support of the 9-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 251.16. But overall, there is nothing to worry about for Vertex. We are still in the bullish channel. Regeneron is down minus 1.65%. And I'm okay with that because we are trying to soften the slope of the bullish channel. We are still bullish and we are doing some kind of a consolidation. Today's candle is within the candle of yesterday. But if we look at the Japanese candlestick theory, a smaller red candle bounded by a bigger previous green candle is supposed to be bearish. It's called as a bearish harami. So there's a good chance that we might have a further down opening tomorrow morning. MACD is bullish, and momentum is trying to moderate itself so that it can have further room to move before being overbought. So I'm okay with Regeneron being the way it is. That's fine in my books. The bullish, steep bullish curve was unsustainable. So this is fine. So having said that, that brings me to an end of today's session. If you like this video, please put a like out there. Thanks and have a great day. If you're here for the first time for Everything CRISPR, please subscribe. Bye for now.